Hello, this is Eki from ET Music, and I teach piano and voice lessons. If you could hit that like button and that subscribe button, it would be much appreciated. You can also find my Facebook page link down in the description for finding out more about piano and voice lessons online. Welcome back to ET Music, and we're going to go over the do, re, mi's of music, literally. You probably heard these syllables before, and usually they sound a little something like do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. A misconception is that because we hear them a certain way and they're all in a row and they seem to go up step by step, we assume that the space between each of those tones is the same. As you can see here on the keyboard, when we start on do, on C, if you refer to our first lesson, you can find out how to find certain letters on the keyboard. Each of these keys, the white and the black, they each represent what we call a semitone. You have one pitch here, and the next pitch is a semitone or a half step above that one. And it goes from left to right. So we have white, then we have this half step here, going up to the black key, then the white key, half step, half step, half step, half step. If you notice between these two keys, there's no black key, so it's just a half step between those two, and that's important to remember. Just seeing that there's no black key in between those two notes there, and they're a half step away from each other. So if we start again from C, half step, D, half step, E, F. The term we can use to reference do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do is called solfege. In our solfege, we'll start it on C here. So we'll call this do. Each of the white keys from this point will represent a syllable from solfege in order. It goes do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. If you notice, that note there with this group of two black keys here and the white key to the left of it, there, that's another C. And if you see where we started before with the group of two black keys, the white key to the left, C. Or do and back to do. We're going to take these steps and we're going to look at the space between each of these white keys as we go up. Do and re, between do and re, there's a black key. That tells us between do and re is a whole step. And then from re to mi, there's another half step between them. So that tells us that between re and mi is a whole step. Now between mi and fa, there's no black key in between there. Between mi and fa is just a half step. So now we see do, whole step, half. The space between each of the syllables is not the same. If they were, it would sound like this. Do, re, mi, fa. That's a whole different syllable, and we'll go through the other syllables of solfege on another video. But for all intents and purposes, that is not fa. If they were all equally apart, it would sound like this. Whole step, whole step, whole step, whole step, whole step, whole step. So the pattern in solfege is this. Whole, whole, half step, whole, 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 half step. Solfege represents what we call a major scale. Now, knowing the pattern helps us do a couple of things. One of those things is this. We can start on a different note on the keyboard, and as long as we know the pattern, we can create this major scale anywhere. Say we start on this guy here, E. Knowing our pattern, we go whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. So what is the whole step from E going up? Is it this? It can't be that because there's no half step between them. So another half step above that would be this. And then a whole step again. If you remember our pattern, it goes whole, whole, half, whole. Here's another tricky part again because there's no black note between them. So we have to skip and go another whole step, whole, and another whole step, and then our half step. Or do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And that's how solfege works. On our next video, we'll talk about using those notes in the solfege to build chords. So tune in next time. Please like and subscribe. Make sure you turn on that notification bell to see our latest video. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good one.